At this time, I would just like to extend a special thanks to Doug Harris and his staff. There's been comments about the efforts that have been made by Doug and myself. I would like you to give Doug a round of applause because Doug has worked diligently. I'm sure one day we'll get a chance to roast this gentleman. I will, because he don't know that I still remember the day on the bus that he tried to play the dozens with me, and I made him look so bad in front of all the players. But I was a sophomore. I was the only sophomore on a team of seniors, you know. And they already didn't like it because I can outplay most of them anyway. And a lot of them was sitting down. They couldn't play because it surely mattered. Okay. So I made him look kind of bad. And then all of a sudden I saw these big old fists come running at me. Well, now I'm a little bigger than him. He was bigger than me then, but I'm bigger than him now. But I still would never test him because I have the utmost respect for this gentleman, legend of all time. Is maybe the only player that I ever seen when I went to a basketball game, and every time he got the ball in his hand and he was on his way to the hoop, the whole audience stood up. My man, Gene Ransom.
I'm not here to roast you. I'm here to say thank you. You started a torch. Earl Robinson, I don't remember him. This is no disrespect. This is no disrespect. None disrespect at all. But I really don't appreciate them roasting you because to me you were God when I was a little kid. I'm here to tell a story. When I first heard your name, I knew the Chenier family from Little League, playing against David and playing against your father's team. I always wanted to play for Cyclone and Troy. I thought they was the best team in the East Bay as far as Little League was concerned. And I even asked your father once, could he trade for me? And I played for Thousand Oaks Hardware, and it wasn't a very good team at all. Like I said, I really appreciate people here roasting you. I'm very surprised. I'm going to roast some of the panel. Mr. Truitt, you guys are my heroes, don't get me wrong. Because of Phil, I met you guys when I was younger and idolized you guys and respect you guys. But this is the most I ever heard you say. I remember we used to play 3-on-3. The team would be Dave, Phil, myself, Chris Weldon, and Mr. Truitt, and Carl Shelton. And you just would not never say nothing. You just would not never say nothing. And I'm a young kid just idolizing you, waiting for you to just say hi. Phil, I'm just going to tell you a story when I first heard your name, like I mentioned a moment ago. I lived in West Berkeley, and like I said, I knew the family. I knew your mother and your father and Dave and Steve. It was a young lady that went to school with you. It was my next door neighbor. And she came home very, very, very excited. I mean, she's just excited. The reason why she was excited, Berkeley High was going to play on television, and they was playing Richmond High against Harry Brown. And I remember the game was at Richmond Auditorium. I put the 2 and 2 together. I said, well, that must be David's older brother. And I was looking for a basketball hero. And like I said, I heard your name by this next door neighbor who's all excited. Phil's going to kick Harry Brown's behind. Phil's going to do this. Phil is going to do that. So I said, I tell you what, I would like to watch him play. And I didn't know what I was watching. You was on cable back then, UHF, Channel 20. anything other than just hearing your name. Like Avery said, you did shoot the ball quite a bit. But don't get me wrong, I want to be like you. And I tried. And I heard your names after that. I listened for it. And it was guys in the neighborhood that attended high school with you. And I remember down at Columbus Elementary School on the playground, they were running full court. And they would call out 3 players, like a 3-man fast break. And this is how it would start. Doug Kagawa bringing the ball up court, pass it to Carl Shelton. Chenier, bucket. That's all they did all day long. Doug Kagawa drove the ball up, pass it to Carl Shelton, pass it to Chenier, shoots it. And I said, I want to be Phil Chenier. Because it seemed like the guy that was shooting the ball was more excited than the other 2. So right then and there, I thought you was a very important person. I mean, you had to be somebody for people in my neighborhood, West Berkeley, looked up to you. And so I followed you, I studied you. And Dave Chenier could be a testament to what I'm saying. Your family accepted me as part of their family. And when I used to come over for dinner, I was always the last one to the table to be blessed. And the reason why, I would be in your old bedroom, just looking at your scrapbook, studying. And by the way, Mama Chenier, I have to tell you, I did do something that wasn't right. My mother didn't raise me this way. I used to ask David, when's Phil coming home? When's Phil coming home? Actually, you had your own apartment up there by campus. And David used to say, well, he might stop on in, he might stop on in. So I used to just sit there and wait for you. So what happened, I asked David, do you think Phil would mind if I take one of these posted one-leg kick jump shots? David said, well, I don't know, you need to ask Phil. But I got tired of waiting for you to come home. So Mama Chenier, I must admit, I still a photo of Phil Chenier. A photo of Phil Chenier with his perfect jump shot. And I try to emulate that jump shot, Phil, all the way to Cal. The reason why I was a pretty decent basketball player is because I studied you, and you gave me the opportunity to see people like Jackie Ridgel. What I learned from Jackie Ridgel by sitting there studying, that you had to talk trash while you played. I figured it would be pretty good because I was only 5'8"3/4. The more trash I talk, the better I probably can make this guy relax and have a good game against him. Because of you, I had the pleasure to see Charlie Johnson. My father used to take me to see the Globetrotters, but all that trickery stuff I knew was fake. For some reason, I knew it was fake. I remember Charlie Johnson on a fast break once. He was dribbling the ball, leading the fast break, and dribbled behind his back. And I remember him going between his legs. After the game, I would go home and try that until I mastered it. Because of you, Phil, I tried to emulate a little bit of Aisley True, but like I said, he was too quiet. And I guess he had a reason. He was 6'10", and he didn't have to say too much, just let his ability just take over the game. Because of you, Phil, I tried to carry that torch. I remember that David and I and Ronald Pelly and a couple of my little friends our age used to come to the training room and just sit back and watch you guys go through therapy, have your ankles taken before games. And our parents raised us well. We knew that when we were out in public, we had to carry ourselves a certain way. And this story here is, I remember we were sitting down one game. Well, it happened many times. but I was fed up with it one time. There was a certain time, Bob Orr, you guys remember Bob Orr? He would always kick us out. And I couldn't understand it. We were sitting there just being quietly and just admiring you and your teammates. So one day I told Bob, I said, David, you Phil's little brother, man. Tell me you're the Phil's little brother so we can stay in here and watch him. And Dave said, well, you know, that's just the way it is. So when it happened the very next time, I told Bob, I said, one day, you're going to take my ankles. One day. I was always, because of you, Phil, I was always late for practice. I was always late for team meetings. The coach used to ask me, Gene, why are you late? I said, Bob didn't take me. He said, well, there's 5 or 6 other trainers in there. No, Bob is going to take me. So one day, Bob Orr asked me, he said, Gene, because he was getting a lot of flack from the athletic director and the coach, why Gene is always late. He asked me, he said, Gene, why you don't let anybody else take your ankles? And I explained the story to him. I said, man, when I was a little kid, I used to come up here and just start blaze, doing the Phil Chenier, Aisley Truitt, really Charlie Johnson time. And me and my friends and I, we would just sit down and on the bench in the corner and just watch. But it would be other kids running around there causing all the confusion, but they stayed. And I said, I promised myself one day that you was going to take my ankles. You're going to take my ankles as long as I'm here. Come back 2 weeks later, he said, Gene, you know what? I think I remember a little black kid telling me this. And I'm not saying that to be funny as far as race or anything, because Berkeley people are not prejudiced at all. We wasn't raised to be prejudiced. But because of you, Phil, my game was a reflection of you. I would like to take this opportunity to say thanks, man. Because sometimes people wait too late to say thanks. After somebody passed, and will say, I wish I would have said thank you. Thank you, Doug, for giving me this opportunity to tell a man that I respect and cherish, and the family that I love. Thank you, Mama Chenier, for accepting me, for feeding me, for guiding me, keeping me out of trouble. I couldn't keep Dave out of trouble because, you know, that was just the way it was. I will take some of the blame. You know, I used to throw rocks at the window and say, Dave, if everybody's asleep, let's go. So Dave got the behind whooping and I got the enjoyment of having fun with Dave. Dave knows I love him. Dave knows I did not befriend him to get close to you, but it's a possibility that's as we got older, Dave knows that he's right there with me, the whole family, Steve, Lisa, especially Mama Chenier, and especially Mr. Chenier. It's like I said, I always want to play for Cycling Joy. And I'm just here to say thanks, man. Thank you.